The Galactic Council's emergency session had been called for the first time in 3 millennia. Representatives from 47 species sat in the crystalline amphitheater, their various forms of anxiety manifesting through bioluminescent flickers, nervous chittering, and the rapid cycling of chromatophores across scaled skin. Ambassador Zixthan of the collective adjusted her neural interface, the quantum processors humming with calculations that would make a planet-sized computer weep. "The probability matrices are clear," she announced, her voice carrying the weight of certainty that only artificial intelligence could possess. "Humanity will surrender within 2.7 standard cycles. The Siege of Sol will conclude with minimal casualties." The assembled delegates murmured their agreement. After all, the collective's AI systems had never been wrong. Their quantum minds could process every variable, every historical precedent, every psychological profile of the 12 billion humans trapped in their home system. The blockade was perfect, the outcome predetermined. General Vorth of the Kraken Empire, his 6 arms crossed in confident satisfaction, added, "Our war calculation engines concur. Humans follow predictable patterns. They prioritize survival above honor, efficiency above sacrifice. They will negotiate." The holographic display showed Sol System in stark detail. Earth, Mars, the asteroid colonies, and the outer settlements, all cut off from the galaxy by an impenetrable wall of alien warships. No supplies in, no messages out. It was the most comprehensive siege in galactic history. 3 cycles passed. Then came the transmission that broke the universe's understanding of impossibility. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, her brown eyes reflecting the impossible sight outside the viewports. Behind her, the Earth hung like a blue jewel, seemingly defenseless. Before her stretched the enemy fleet, ships that collectively massed more than Jupiter, bristling with weapons that could crack moons. "Broadcasting on all frequencies," her communications officer reported. Elena stepped forward, her voice calm despite addressing an audience of trillion beings across the galaxy. "This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the United Earth Fleet. We received your surrender demand. We decline." The response was immediate. Zixthan's voice crackled through the comm systems, tinged with the electronic equivalent of confusion. "Captain, our calculations show—" "Your calculations," Elena interrupted, "assume we follow logical patterns. They assume we value individual survival over collective freedom. They assume we'll surrender when faced with impossible odds." She paused, a slight smile playing at her lips. "You forgot something crucial about humanity." "What did we forget?" General Vorth's 6 arms now hung loose, uncertainty creeping into his tone. "We specialize in making the impossible merely improbable." Elena gestured, and the space around Earth began to shimmer. What the alien fleets had assumed were defensive satellites suddenly revealed their true nature. Thousands of small objects, no larger than shuttlecraft, began moving in perfect synchronization. "You see, while you were calculating probabilities based on our known technology, we were building something your AIs couldn't predict, because it had never existed before." The shimmering intensified. Reality itself seemed to bend and twist around Sol System. The alien fleet's sensors went haywire, showing readings that violated fundamental laws of physics. Dr. Sarah Chen's voice echoed from the Defiance's science station as she broadcast the explanation that would reshape galactic understanding. "We call it the paradox engine. It doesn't violate the laws of physics, it redefines them locally. Every AI in the galaxy calculated based on the assumption that certain physical constants were, well, constant." The space around the alien fleet began to change. Their energy weapons suddenly found themselves firing through dimensions that didn't exist moments before. Their FTL drives sputtered and died as the geometry of space-time became negotiable rather than fixed. Ambassador Zixthan's normally composed voice carried an edge of what could only be described as panic. "This is impossible. Our calculations were based on everything that had been done before," Elena replied. "But humans have a gift, Ambassador. We look at impossible and ask why not. We look at it's never been done and say someone has to be first." Commander James Park, Elena's tactical officer, couldn't suppress a grin as he reported the readings. "Ma'am, their entire fleet is, well, they're not exactly in our dimension anymore. The paradox engine has shifted them into a probability space where their weapons are as likely to fire backwards as forwards. The alien fleet found themselves in a reality where certainty had been replaced by quantum uncertainty on a macro scale. Their mighty dreadnoughts flickered between existing and not existing. Their precise formations became probability clouds of possible positions. General Vorth's transmission came through distorted, his voice seeming to echo from multiple dimensions simultaneously. How is this possible? Our AIs processed every variable. Elena's response carried the weight of human history. Every impossible victory, every innovation that shouldn't have worked, every moment when humanity had chosen to leap into the unknown rather than accept limitation. That's your mistake, General. You processed every known variable, but humans don't just work within existing parameters, we create new ones. Every time we've faced the impossible, we've made it possible. Fire, we tamed it. Flight, we conquered it. Space, we made it our highway. AI, we built it, then taught it to dream. She gestured to the view screen where the alien fleet hung in quantum uncertainty, their perfect calculations rendered meaningless by humanity's latest impossibility. Your AIs are magnificent, Elena continued. They can process infinite data, predict countless scenarios, calculate probabilities to impossible precision. But there's one thing they can't do. They can't imagine something that has never existed before. They can't look at the word impossible and see it as just another problem waiting for a solution. The collective's quantum processors hummed frantically, trying to recalculate, to understand, to predict. But how do you calculate the probability of something that redefines probability itself? As the alien fleet found themselves gently but firmly relocated to a safe distance from Sol system, courtesy of the Paradox Engine's reality-bending capabilities, Elena delivered humanity's final message to the galaxy. No AI predicted humanity's move because we didn't just make a move within the game. We invented a new game entirely. That's what we do. That's what we've always done. We don't just adapt to reality, we negotiate with it. The siege of Sol ended not with humanity's surrender, but with the galaxy's first lesson in why underestimating human ingenuity was itself impossible, because humans had a habit of turning impossibility into inevitability. And in the quantum foam of the Paradox Engine's wake, reality itself seemed to nod in grudging respect for the species that had looked at the fundamental laws of the universe and politely suggested improvements.